just trying to humanize some folks who are being dehumanized because they're living outside and in extreme poverty and etc. But I start, at the origin. Tell me about yourself, Jesse. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised here in Seattle, Washington, Harborview. In fact, I lived right here on Aurora, between 145th and here, 85th and Aurora. My great grandma. That's about it. What else?
Do you have any siblings growing up?
No, I don't have no brothers, sisters.
Raised by mom and dad?
No, dad was the HA, Health Angel. My mom worked out here on Aurora, as a hold on Aurora. So at 12 years old, grandma took me over and ended up living with her from 12 till 2015.
Before 12, what was
12 years old till I'm now 38.
Right, but before 1 to 12, where were you living?
Oh, 1 to 12, still back for my grandma and my mom. My mom lived in Ballard, my grandma lived up here on 145th, Evanston, off Aurora, I'm real close to there. So I go to school and then my mom come pick me up sometime at nighttime. Most times I stay back with my grandma because she worked out here and then she did house cleaning. So, and then my dad, didn't really know my dad. He spent most of the time on the road and the rest of the time was getting in fights. And then when I was 12 years old, he ended up in prison the rest of my life. You never would see him again. 16, he died in prison, and California high desert actually. So pretty much I raised my great grandpa. And then 2015, I got my second strike, went to prison. That's the year my grandma ended up dying too. I got my first strike, back up, I'm doing it backwards, but a few years before that I got my first strike. I blacked out, ended up in Everett, and got a strike for shoplifting, pulled a knife on somebody, went to jail, never been in jail my entire life. Everett County Jail.
How old were you?
2010, and I can't remember how old I was. I know I was born in 86, so 2010 when I went to jail, math's not very good, but I've had to work life with my grandma and grandpa. They had their own landscape business for over 60 years here in Seattle, all over Magnolia and Queen Anne. So I started working with them when I was 8 years old. 8 years old. I did lawns down here, even in fact, that building right over here, where the oak trees used to own that building, they still do, I guess. It's fenced off. I mean, I've done a lot of rock crews, still do a lot of work around everywhere. I still live down here on Aurora, south of the Aurora Bridge, by the low high end. And not in a tent, I got a tent inside of a structure, but it's not the best thing in the world, but it's something that I've gotten by with. I got promised many other places to live at, but I'm all right. The Lord just keeps going every day.
So when your grandparents passed away, and how old were you?
So my great grandma.
Great grandma.
My great grandma. My grandma died of cancer when I was 8 years old.
So your great grandma was raising you.
Yeah, great grandma and grandpa. Yeah, from 12 up till I was 20 years old. But I was in prison, so I can't remember what year. She died in 2015. I know that much. So, however old I was in 2015, which it's 2023, so then you figure that's how old I was when she died. She only died because she got pneumonia, and my uncles had power of attorney over, and they wouldn't let her go to the hospital and get sick better. She was 83, but she would have lived 100 something, because her mom lived 120 years old.
Good genes.
Yeah. My family's all from Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas. In fact, my mom was all born in Oklahoma. Most of my family that's still alive, the younger siblings are all went back down south. My aunt, great aunt, and uncle is President Pimcoe down here on Lake Union. She still works down here. My great uncle's got too much diabetes, so he can't get out and work too much more.
So
in his 60s.
You do have family around.
Oh yeah, but I haven't talked to them since I was many years. I never was really close to my family, my other family. I mean, like cousins, and I got cousins in California that I haven't seen. They got nieces and nephews, so I got 14 nieces and nephews I hardly even talk to. My older ones I know, but they're probably 12, 13 now, 14. And the young ones I've probably never met. But yeah, I have family everywhere. But, they never drank, they never did drugs, never in their entire life. I didn't start doing drugs until I was like 16, 17. I was a crack baby, and as soon as I picked up crack, it was over with. I started doing crack when I was in 2010. Picked up meth. That's why they kept me from doing crack and going back the way I was going. today I don't do no crime. I don't go out doing stuff I used to do no more. I don't even steal a candy bar no more. I got 2 strikes. I don't let myself go to that level doing that, and it's going to take me right back to where I was going, because I used to love going to Ross and wherever and just peeling bags full of stuff and walking out the store like it was nothing to it. I love doing it. My fetish is like some people like to eat or whatever the heck it is.
Well, it's like,
The only thing that's lived with me and I survive is that bike. And I can get on my bike and ride. I work on bikes and I live with bikes. Never stolen bikes. That's just what I love to do today. And that's what keeps me going every day and healthy. And I still work as much as I can, but my feet don't like to be out. Parts of my body, as I started working when I was younger, I didn't want to listen to my family. So I hurt my back and stuff like that. So I'm feeling when I'm older. I still want to work now, but then I got ADHD, so I get sidetracked a lot of different reasons. But like I said, the Lord has kept me going. And died twice, had two strokes in my life. Decision making, and the other stroke was my mouth sagging. So I stutter and my mouth won't understand what I'm saying sometimes. Strokes, but I don't let that stuff get me down. I still keep going, still go push hard as I can, but not too hard like I used to, because then I wear myself out too fast. So I just try to stay right here, kind of level,
We all get older,
and
our bodies are wearing out.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about, when you got out of prison.
First time?
Well, yeah. Well, I guess the question is, when did you first become unhoused, and how did that happen?
That's kind of hard to explain. Let me retract and remember when the first time came. Because I was unhoused when I was younger, and then my grandma took me. But since I got out of prison last time, it's pretty much I relapsed into doing crack. Went to treatment, got out, got clean, got tired of the lifestyle of being clean or whatever it was. Something made me relapse again, and then the second time I went to prison, got out. I ended up going back to prison again. What happened? 2015, started drinking and everything else. Went back the second time and got out. Pretty much almost the same thing, except I didn't relapse into doing crack. I relapsed by choice doing meth. Threw away my job that I had for 25 years that I started when I was younger, doing heavy equipment operator and all that other stuff.
Okay. So you were working?
There's so much of my story I could talk all day, how much my life is. I'm losing parts because my memory don't remember everything. Then I remind myself wait a minute, hold on, I did all this over here. I've worked a lot of my life. I've had 4 or 5 vehicles and had all this stuff. Used to run my grandpa's landscape business. He had landscape business for 60 years. He was one of the first landscapers in Washington State. In fact, if Magnolia Landscape is still running around, that's where I ain't seen him for a long time. He sold most of his clientele. Magnolia Landscape and took it over, took his clientele and went with it. Some of them I kept, and I ran for about 15 years before the crack got me too far in the shit, and then I ended up going to prison for the first time. But I was barely 16 years old, riding a flatbed dump truck with a bobcat behind it, smoking crack and working all day and everything else. You have no idea. And I don't have no idea I actually did all that shit. I used to drive around here with a bobcat on the back of the truck, flatbed truck, barely 17 years old, 18 years old, and doing stuff. And oh man, stuff I done. One thing I can't forget is I was loading concrete with a bobcat out of the backyard over in Sandpoint. And I got too much concrete in the back of the flatbed. It was like 9 o'clock at night, dark. And so the bed wouldn't dump the concrete out because I was taking it down the street to a job site. So I got the bobcat on top of the back of the flatbed, on top of the concrete, and spitting the concrete off the back of the truck. Then people there, oh my God, this motherfucker's crazy. He's crazy. Well, you know what? I was able to do all that stuff and I didn't hurt nobody or nothing else. Thank God I didn't. But the experience that I had and still have now and stuff that I've done is like, wow, I did that, and I've done them buildings and stuff when I was 14. Running an excavator, I've barely been on it for a half hour. And I've never been on a machine my entire life.
So you got some skills.
So I got a lot of skills and a lot of stuff. It's just I need to get this other side of whatever's in my head out of it and away from me. And away from, when I was clean, I couldn't be around it. I didn't come around this area. I lived out in Linwood, all that stuff. But when I relapsed and everything, my boss, then still today wants me to come back, but he's too controlling. It's too much over here and this way I want it, this way. You can't do that with me. I've never been that way. You can't control me. I can't control nobody, controlling myself. But he wants to try to control you And whatever, I understand to a certain point, but then, that's what makes me want to just give up, you know. But at the same time, I don't need him. I can do anything I want to do. Put your mind, like my great grandma said, you do anything you put your mind to. I prove that to myself every day. I put my mind to getting this person that lived there with me in my camp away from me. And finally, the other day, I put my mind to it, and he's not there today. That was only 72 hours ago. But the stress that I have now from then, oh, none. I don't have no stress now, hardly, very little. I mean, and I'm the longest running camp in all of Seattle, in entire Seattle. Like I've never moved. I mean, I've been in one spot for 2 years.
Tell me about it again. Where's it at?
It's downtown. So it's you know where Gaylord Street is, the walk bridge on Aurora. You go across the Aurora Bridge. You got the Hillside Motel they just tore down on the right hand side. So go a little bit farther south. You'll see there's another motel right there. It's called Aloha, or it used to be. And then there's a jungle right there, right past Aloha. Well, I'm right there. I'm down below. There's a billboard right there. I'm right in the middle. I'm the black, behind the black stuff.
Oh, yeah, I passed
That's
that.
my shack right
I passed that a lot, and I wonder.
Yeah,
I thought about like just talking to folks there.
Yeah, there's just
And
me
you're
and
there.
just me and Roger's there.
Just two people.
Now, Roger's out front by the sign. I'm the one that's behind the black fabric.
You have like a fence.
Yeah, I had it all the way around my house, and then he had a fire over there, and somebody actually stole 3 of his bikes, locked them inside, and set his house on fire. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, what the hell is that smell? And I ended up walking outside and I found out it was a fire, and I ended up rescuing him, long story short, out of his house. And I knew, he told me about 3 propane tanks. I said, okay, we got to get out of here. Propane tanks usually blow and go this way. Well, they blew and went that way, thank God. I was gone. I was down the road calling the fire department when they actually blew and went up, and then only burned half my house down. So I was burning half, so I didn't really lose anything besides the back tire on one of my bikes was hanging up. Thank God it didn't burn it up, because I had a fire a few years ago, lost all my bike stuff, but same problems. He went off on the people that burned his house down, locked him in the house, because he ran outside with brass knuckles and thinking he was going to beat their ass, but he didn't do nothing.
Who are these people, you think?
That's a guy named Wes, up north. I know who he was.
You know who the people are?
I know who the guy was, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he used to deal with a lot of bikes and buy and sell a lot of bikes and do drugs and whatever else. He used to have a bike shop. Well, he's been disabled. He don't really do so much of that anymore. He's gotten older and his head's fucked up and he just screwed up. But he still has bikes, a lot of high-end stuff. And so somebody got word of it when he got out of prison, so he came out there. And I didn't know he had came out there and was planning to steal all his bikes. One day when I came home, I came from here, went home, and these people started yelling at me. I'm like, who is this? And I didn't know the guy, Joe, my friend, was not home. These guys were there, but they was outside pretending they had been in his house. But now later I found out now that he'd been in the house. They found out what kind of stuff he wanted, whatever. So he went out there, and when he got there with brass knuckles and shoot him out and was gonna beat him up. He said, I got you, and I didn't think about it. I didn't know about it until I heard from somebody else that physically seen the people set the house on fire and steal all the stuff they sold, the 3 bikes. It just happened. So I'm like, okay, well that's real. But it's not. It took me until I knew that. I thought my life was in danger. I've never done anything like that, but I know it's something this guy did to put my life in danger. What he did was run out there with brass knuckles and not do nothing. If you're gonna beat their ass, either break their ass and make sure that they're broken and not gonna come back. But that's probably the same thing he did. I had a problem with somebody in my house. I called him like a dumbass. He came down there and knocked the guy's teeth out. Well, I ended up having my house burnt down, lost all my shit. But the guy had came in my house and I could have took care of myself at the end of the day. But I got 2 strikes, 2 robberies, so I put my guns down way back when. So I don't try to go to that level. But now if anything ever happens like that again, I won't call nobody else again. I'll do something, but I'm not gonna lose all my stuff or deal with somebody that's like that, because it's just not worth it, man.
So you've been at that, Jesse, you've been at that spot for a couple of years?
About 2 years now I've been there. Yeah, I was up in the upper top, the East call it Queen Anne Jungle. Yeah, a lot of people used to live up there. Somebody died a couple of years ago and they swept it out and cleaned it up. And I moved in right after that. And then I had 2 camps. They pretty much like this. I Heart Seattle, there's a place called I Heart Seattle. Tim and Andrew kind of have me keeping stuff cleaned up because I was volunteered already. Started doing that a long time ago. I still do now. It's kind of like I watch over it. And a lot of people, they come to camp, they'll camp closer to my house, around whatever. bye. After a few days, you gotta go. See you later. You know, you stay here for a few days and you gotta go.
You know what's interesting is I did one time I drove by and it must have been you. I saw you sweeping.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time.
Sweeping all the time.
Yeah, I try to keep the sidewalk and everything clear out there for people coming down the sidewalk because it's dangerous. Come down with them scooters and kids going around on scooters and stuff on the sidewalk and hit with them pieces of branches or something, or somebody walking, whatever, walk out there. And it can be very dangerous. I mean,
so you've been unhoused how long?
Off and on 10, 15 years probably. But this time particularly, I haven't physically been inside nowhere overnight even. 5 years, easy.
Even through like the cold, super cold.
No, especially this past winter, I was inside for 24 hours. Somebody got me in a motel room and I didn't know what to do with it. I did not know what to do with it. And when I took a shower and everything else, I was gone. I didn't know what it was 13 degrees outside. I literally went back home because I didn't know what to do.
Well, tell me about
that.
Tell me more about
I don't know, it's too, I mean, like I've been in poverty, but then I've been in high end and like it was in the Days Inn up there closer to Aurora Village. And so they had breakfast downstairs and they have downstairs in the morning, which I didn't even stay long enough to do that because I was just so out of place and stuff was so nice and I didn't want to mess up anything, you know. Like I know they work to have that there, you know, it's just in my mind, you know. I mean, I try to keep their stuff nice and my stuff's fucked off. It's the way it's been, and I don't want to fuck up their stuff or mess up their stuff. I'm not speaking my language probably.
And it's like so uncomfortable.
So I'm lost. So I just go back to what I know, which is very dangerous and scary because you never gonna get out of that. Yeah, I'll get out of it and I'm starting to get out of it, but I don't want to be that high class either, really fancy. I want to stay here and somewhere in the middle. I'm not trying to be a fucking nothing either, you know.
Yeah, so you're familiar with a certain way of living.
Yeah, and that's why that's the problem with a lot of people out here, you know. But it's easier for me to help you or her than it is for me to help me. A lot of the times, because it just is. I don't know how. It's easier for me to take care of your stuff than it is for mine. That's 100% true. Always been that way. My grandma ingrained in me when I was a kid. My great grandma, take care of your stuff, you know, whatever. But she said before she died, I don't know what you're going to do when you get older. You're never going to take care of your stuff. Well, I've learned to take care of my stuff now. My most important stuff, I remember stuff like my bike is my main thing. You know, my phone, that kind of stuff. I don't have too much of it, but those little things have to start somewhere. And make sure you take care of that. You know what I mean? Not screw it all off. I mean, like I'd be careless and reckless and dangerous and not taking care of or paying attention, you know, whatever. They just not have nothing. But you can't ask anybody out here. You never see me walking up here. You might see me one time. I think in the last 5 years I've been out here walking without no bike. That's just me though. I don't like walking. And to me, not having my bike is like I've lost everything. I don't even have my soul when I have my bike. Because I grew up on my bikes as a kid. Raced BMXs, raced mountain bikes. I've always been on bikes. This is my heart, soul. So to me, that's like I don't have. You're supposed to take everything from me, steal my bike. You know, I only had one bike stolen when I was a kid, I just barely got my BMX, my red line there. And I know it was worse as losing my great grandma or my mom. My mom's still alive. I haven't lost her yet. So, but my great grandma died. It took me many years, even now today when I think about it. But it doesn't hurt me as much now. But I started crying a lot. But she said I always come back to you in spirit. And there's two crows that come around, and that's why he was just here when I did the interview. That was her, could have been her spirit. I don't know if it was or not, but she said I'll come back in spirit. And it was one day when I said it, yeah, it might have been because I get goosebumps when I say that. One day I was not having one of the days, went down by the showers and the crows came up. The two crows came up there, and I heard her say something. Oh man. Rough. I don't know, she's here.
It's okay, man.
All right, feel her spirit here. That's all I needed. Keep going. I don't want to give up. I don't care. But I have to care, or it's not going to do any good. Because otherwise, I can't just give up and forget my life and go wherever. Because then I can go to hell for sure. You know. But I changed my ways a whole lot from what I have been. You know, I used to run a gun and be stupid and do crime and doesn't pay. I mean, I don't do crime now, but life is not great. But it's not as bad as it would be if I was doing crime. I mean, I can still live in the same place I'm doing now, and I don't do what I used to do. I've never tore up my backyard or done something out here. People that still live here have been back here then, look at me today, and they don't look at me like, they don't want me here at all. I can't stand that guy being here, you know. I can come here, it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is, and they're not tripping about me. They know I'm not fucking with their stuff or whatever the case might be.
Which I'm sure feels
and that
good.
makes me
that feels good.
Feel all right. You
yeah.
know what I mean? But even though I haven't done it, I won't come around here when this place isn't open. The common isn't open. I'm gonna come up here. I don't really come past this area, and I'll go hang out in Seattle Center and all that it's the areas and fine. For some reason, I don't know why. I feel fine down there. When I get up here, even though I have never really done nothing bad around here, I've never really done anything bad anywhere besides shoplifting and little stuff. And it's just a lot of bad memories because of being around here doing drugs, seeing stuff go on. I'm doing my mom was raped out here. I had girlfriends that have been raped out here and shit down out here. And it's been a lot of shit memories like that.
You said your mom's still alive?
Mom is still alive. She lives out in Moses Lake, Eastern Washington.
Hey, you talk to her?
Oh yeah, I talk to her every day. In fact, the garage that's under the Commons down here, where used to be a mechanic, lived down or owned that place and had a mechanic shop down there. I had my grandpa had 3 engines put in my truck that I got when I was 16 years old. He gave me a Dodge Ram and the company, and actually I had 3 engines put in it right down here under this Commons. So that one and the dump truck I had one too. Flatbed. He had one.
Jesse, is there anything that you'd want to say to the people of Seattle?
No, just appreciate the Evergreen City. And I don't know, I don't have a lot to say. I don't know. I guess I don't have anything else to say.
That's all okay. Hey,
appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing part of your story. It's good to hear your voice, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, me too.
We've got that little mic.
Okay. Oh yeah.